once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
Directed energy weapons, also known as DEWs, are weapons that deploy a highly focused energy beam, including lasers, microwaves, and particle beams. After decades of research in the United States, defense contractors announced back in 2015 that these systems are expected to come online by 2020, and are currently announcing that they are ready to deploy in the field. Russia, China, India, and the UK are developing directed energy weapons as well. And Iran has had them in use since at least 2013. In 2019, Turkey was the first to officially deploy this technology in combat, when they claimed to have shot down a Chinese-made drone supplied to the Libyan National Army. On September 16th, Defense Secretary Mark Esper announced that China and Russia have already weaponized satellites with directed energy weapons.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
And for the past few years, many have wondered if these advanced weapon systems have anything to do with the unprecedented fires we have seen in the past few years. Laser-based weapons are able to destroy the target with external heat, and microwave weapons are designed to penetrate the target through external antennas and sensors and ignite the internal electronics, destroying them from the inside out. This could explain how thousands of homes have rapidly burned into their own footprint, while the trees surrounding them survive. And it could explain the several cars we have seen utterly destroyed, with temperatures hot enough to liquefy glass and metal. Michael Janich, host of the YouTube Dutch Sense channel, has been researching the Earth's seismic activity for the past 10 years. During the past few weeks, he has discovered satellite imagery that show an equal distance spread of fires, all starting within the same 4 hours.
4 hours? We've got ourselves an equal distance spread of fires. Here, 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 and here. So, what could cause an equal distance spread of fires? Well, only two things, Mother Nature or man, right? There's no storm in the area. You can't blame a storm. So, what could cause equal distance spaced fires to spread out across, what do you think that is, 1/3 of Idaho?
And he also discovered what looks to be a beam of light that can be seen in the infrared spectrum, like a microwave. On September 8th, a beam of light can be seen directed to the Dolan Fire of California. The beam appears to excite the heat signature of the fire as it is held on target for over 2 hours.
Right before dawn, watch that. This is yesterday, going into this morning. This is in California, the beam coming from space up above Oregon, or somewhere in between this and Oregon. And as it's going through, see how it excites? As the beam is spreading, look how it excites. It's no doubt about it. And the beam spreads first. Look, beam spreads first. Goes from a tiny, little, tight beam to a wide beam. Then the fire spreads to a wide fire.
The next day, a beam of light is seen directed at and exciting the heat signature of the Holiday Farm Fire in Oregon for over an hour.
Here it is now, and it's two of them. And it's only going to one fire, a different fire. And it's moving. Okay, it's moving. There's clouds going through it, which rules out it being an artifact. The clouds are passing through and interfering with the beam.
Meanwhile, in space, Moscow and Beijing have turned a once peaceful arena into a warfighting domain. They have weaponized space through killer satellites, directed energy weapons, and more in an effort to exploit our systems and chip away at our military advantage.
The timing of this public admission is interesting. These weapons of the future are now officially being deployed. Are we currently being attacked with directed energy weapons? And if so, by who?
It was bad. I don't know. Look. That's crazy! Late to the party. Oh.
这个热呀！
哎呦，这天，哎呦我的妈呀！雷电那嘎达都着火了，这是。
在哪找着的？哎呦我路上了。
哪地方？
就这，
还是那样？
对，还是那样。
那颜色不一样了吧？
一样的，这回更猛烈。
我操！刚才一个大雷给这楼全给那干成火花了，这啥情况啊？ 操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！
我操，咋了是啊？
看，我又录着了！我操！
Y se vivió. Ana, tú estabas aquí.
Al aire, estábamos a las 8 de la noche con 47 minutos y 47 segundos. Es exactamente el momento en el que el Servicio Sismológico Nacional está dando como la hora de inicio de este sismo, que ya decías, Ana Paula, preliminar 6.9, con localización a 14 kilómetros al sureste de Acapulco, Guerrero, que fue el primer sensor, digamos, que captó este movimiento telúrico ahí en las costas del Océano Pacífico, en las costas del estado de Guerrero. Y esta es pues la imagen del momento aquí en las antenas de Televisa.
Imagine the implications of a weapon with no visible trace, a weapon that could knock out tanks, ships, and planes as fast as the speed of light. The same technology with modifications could disorient and even tranquilize military personnel, rendering them virtually helpless in the battle zone. These are the new weapons of war we will examine in this series. For the past 40 years, the world has been riveted by the threat of nuclear war, and more recently by the prospect of space defenses using lasers and other modern technologies. But while both sides at the Geneva summit will be focusing on these matters, progress is being made in even newer weapons that could render any arms agreement relatively useless. Lightning is the most dramatic form of energy to be found in nature. Scientists have succeeded in creating limited types of artificial lightning, and some think that these could be the forerunners of a new type of directed energy weapon, part of a family of weapons which operate within the radio frequency segment of the electromagnetic spectrum, and are thus referred to as radio frequency weapons. Dr. James Frazier has researched electromagnetic effects for the Air Force for over 10 years, and he, like a small but growing number of weapons experts, feels that radio frequency, or RF weapons, could be the wild card in the ongoing arms race.
You could have tremendous amounts of radiative power, and what you did with that power then is a matter of engineering design and what your goal is.
Robert Bass, a physicist and PhD in mathematics, is working on U.S. weapons research. He says that the Soviets seem to be ahead in a number of areas, and especially in RF weapons.
We are behind the Soviet Union in directed energy weapons based on 60 gigahertz microwave beams.
Dr. Bass and others feel the most likely form of Soviet RF weaponry would be high-powered microwaves, similar to a focused, ultra-high-intensity radar beam. It would literally cook humans and knock out computers and electronic surveillance and communications gear. An operational RF weapon, relatively cheap and reusable, could devastate sophisticated and expensive war machinery. The $20 million F-16 fighter, for example, is totally controlled through electronic sensors and computers. With no manual flight controls, the plane would literally fall out of the sky after being hit with a high-intensity pulse of microwave radiation. Scientists say that microwaves and other types of RF pulses operating at specific frequencies or windows can be transmitted with little or no loss of power. Machines known as gyrotrons can produce the massive pulses needed to drive these devices, and it's believed that the Soviet Union has a 3 to 5 year lead in this technology. Over the past year, CNN has repeatedly asked the Department of Defense and the Air Force about radio frequency weapons. After much resistance, DoD finally said that the subject was too sensitive to discuss. In my next report, unexplained cloud-like phenomena which may be evidence of a Soviet breakthrough in RF technology. Chuck DeCaro, CNN Special Assignments.
laser beam hitting the volcano multiple times before it fades off. I've had this video for a while now, ready for an upload eventually, but this morning I was emailed these 3 images showing a laser beam striking the Sakurajima volcano on December 22nd of 2020. So it seems this mysterious laser beam is an ongoing thing. I would have to say that this is due a direct energy weapon in an attempt to create a natural disaster. But of course, it wouldn't be a natural disaster as this laser beam seems to be artificially moving this volcano's eruption process along. Well, it's trying to anyway. Some people claim that volcanoes are packed with latent explosive chemicals and not what we've been told, and some people believe the magnetic fields are very high around volcanoes and believe that they are portals to other worlds, hence all the strange UFO activity captured around them in the past. But take a look at this fantastic image of volcanic lightning captured by a Francisco Negroni at the Calbuco volcano in southern Chile on January 16th. It looks otherworldly. It's an incredible photo, like it could harbour some energy we have yet to understand. Volcanic lightning is an electrical discharge caused by a volcanic eruption rather than from an ordinary thunderstorm. Volcanic lightning arises from colliding fragmenting particles of volcanic ash, which generates static electricity within the volcanic plume, leading to the name Dirty Thunderstorm. This video, though, clearly shows some laser or energy beam trying to manipulate this volcano into erupting or maybe holding off an eruption. I would say if it is human technology that's playing a part here, it's obviously trying to get this volcano to erupt to cause damage or danger to life, because that's just us, the human race, as destructive as ever. But if it is from an unknown source, aka aliens, maybe they're trying to prevent a major catastrophe. But my money's on a military direct energy weapon. This video